Hey, Dan Meyer here, and today we're going to talk about how to market your book. So I launched my first book back in 2014. I wrote a guidebook on how to put your data to work. It's for a small business owner, and I made two versions of it, one for the US and one for the Philippines. And the idea was I took all my knowledge of working in data and analytics and shared it with people that I thought would be interested in learning how I did it, how I do it, and how they could do it too when it comes to using data to make decisions in a business, to drive business strategy through data. So that was my book, and I needed to figure out how to market that, right? So I pretty much did it on my own. And this is how I did it. And this is how I continue to help my clients market their books. Everyone's got a strategy. I know some great people who are amazing at helping people market a book. And I'll give a quick shout out to the Brooklyn Writers Project. Marina Ayres is like amazing at helping people get their books out there. So go check her out if you want some really great professional type help for independent publishing. I did it all self-published. I had my own printing. Everything I did was on my own, which is how I wanted it. This is how I did it. But whether you're doing it like me or you're going through someone like Marina or you're actually going to a traditional publishing house, there's certain things that you need to do to market your book. And these are the things I think are important. And I'm going to caveat this by saying you need to have a virtual assistant do this. You cannot market your book alone. Now, maybe some people possibly can be successful marketing their book by themselves, but that's unlikely. You need somebody else to generate buzz for you. You are the author. Authors don't chase people trying to get them to buy the book. Authors don't schedule their own book readings. Authors don't get themselves booked on podcasts. You need to have basically an agent or a publicist or a promoter, which in many cases will just be a virtual assistant who's acting as your assistant, but can do all those things for you. So step one, if you have your book written, like I did, the first thing I had to do was start building up a platform for people to go to find out more about my book. How do they access it? What's it about? How much does it cost? How do they order it? Get some testimonials, some feedback, some information on reviews, having somewhere for all that to go. That means you need to have a dedicated website for your book. Yes, you can have a business page for your book on Facebook. Yes, you can take a piece of your existing website and make a landing page for it for your book. Those are fine. But the most effective way is to actually just go out there and register a domain for your book title. If at all possible, exactly as the title is. Get that out there and use that. I've done that for putting your data to work. I've done that for a couple of different things for my clients, and it is more effective when they go to a website dedicated to that book. So, I think about how I got started as a writer. I've always been a writer. I love writing. It's one of my favorite ways to, in fact, it's my favorite way to communicate, even though I do a lot of videos because we live in a video age. Now I'm old-fashioned enough that I prefer writing. That's my preferred way of sharing my information, my content with people. So I love to blog. I blog a lot. I've blogged over 1,000 times in a couple of different blogs that I have. And that's where you want to start. So you want to build your book website, right? So for me, when I first launched my very first version of putting data to work, I actually used it off my business page, right? So my business page, Decision Making, Analytics, and Intelligence Philippines, we dedicated a place for me as the author and resource speaker. Because if you're an author, not everyone, but a lot of you are going to want to be a resource speaker. You want to go out and speak about your book so you can sell your book. Whether that be at conferences and events, being on a stage, or being booked on media, being on a TV show or a radio show or a podcast, you want to have somewhere people can quickly go back to find you. So whether it be a quick and easy to learn website like DMEIPH, people found it pretty quickly, or puttingyourdata-to-work.com. Either way, people are going to go out there and they're going to find you based on that. And you need a website. Now, not a fancy website, just a simple e-commerce website where people can come, they can sign up for a newsletter, they can get a copy of the ebook, so you capture their information, you give them a checkout shopping cart so that you can get them to be able to buy the book, or at least buy a version of the ebook, or even if the book's not ready yet, they can pre-sale. You can actually get people to buy things in pre-sale. You can do that kind of stuff through anything, and the best place to go, there's pros and cons to all of them, but going to GoDaddy and setting up a GoDaddy website using WordPress and having a simple e-commerce engine that allows people to order the book, and you get that book order, you get that lead capture through something like that. It's cheap, it's quick, it's easy. If you want to have somebody set it up for you, I have a team that can do that. My team is well versed in setting up things in WordPress and Wix, and we know how to do a lot of the other types of website apps as well. So step number one, build your book website. Number two, which should be happening even before you build the website, but you don't use it till after you have the website, is build your email list, right? Whether you use things like MailChimp or Constant Contact or Aweber, or just using Google Sheets or Microsoft Excel, Access, whatever you're using to capture information, you want to make sure you're doing that through every contact you have. You want to scrape your LinkedIn profile. You want to go out there and look for people that you think will buy your book and see if they have publicly available email addresses. You can do a lot of data mining before you really start pushing your book. You want to have a couple thousand people in your database before you really push the book so that you get that traffic out there. And you need a VA to do this for you, right? You need a VA to do all the web scraping for you, to go and look at every LinkedIn profile you're connected with, to mine their email addresses. That's one way to do it. The other is to do opt-ins, right? To do a text opt-in, to do an email opt-in, do something to capture their information. Again, on your website, you should definitely have a lead capture that's getting their email submitted into a form that feeds into something like Google Docs or into a CRM like Aweber for email marketing. Whatever you're doing, you want to make sure you're building that list. And again, you want to have the great website, and you email people, you email them, sections of your book, you email them an e-copy, you email them a newsletter, whatever you're doing, you drive them back to the website to buy the book itself. The next thing you want to do is reach out to influencers, right? You want to find people who will basically promote you for you. It's so much more powerful when other people are promoting you. So step number one is to find a few influencers in your field, right? Have them write the foreword, have them write, a couple of quick quotations that you can put on the back of the book. Do things like that and make sure that will help you be more legit. That will help you reach a more broader audience. And of course, use their platforms, right? Have them promote for you. You don't have to pay them. Even if you have to pay them a little bit to promote your book, it's worth it to have other people talking about you. So identify a couple influencers in your market and reach out to them. Get on their podcast, get interviewed by them, get exposed to their fans. The best way to really build up your fan base is through being part of other people's existing fan bases. Let them do the work for you. And again, you shouldn't be doing this yourself. It's time consuming. It's tedious. It's a lot of work. So have a VA be the one connecting you to all these influencers and introducing you and being the one to get you booked. It's so much more powerful if someone says, hey, I work for an author and he's written a new book. We wanted to reach out to you and see if you want to have him be a guest in your podcast. Much more powerful than saying, hey, I wrote a book and can I be in your podcast? It works when you have somebody else do it for you. And that's why you want to have a VA. The next thing is get on the podcast, right? What are the 3 podcasts or radio shows that you want to be on? You've got to know some people that have podcasts. Everyone, especially in this age, is doing something online. So ask them, how do I get on it? In some cases, you may have to pay. That's okay. Paying a small amount to get your name out there, especially if they have a big reach, is great. You can also do your own podcasting, right? Things like Podmatch or Podded or Podchaser can get you linked to podcasters, to radio shows. You can go and connect with people that are doing podcasts and ask them how they get started. You can have somebody do your own podcast for you. You can make your own podcast. You can use Anchor. You can get on iTunes. You can get on all kinds of places. You just have to get started. And again, whether you want to be a podcaster or you want to be a guest on podcasts, you should have a VA help you with this. I keep saying it because this is how you have to grow it. I could not have done what I've done. I could not be where I'm at right now with my level of success if I didn't have VAs helping me do it. Okay, so after you've already gotten out there and you've written the book and you've created a website and you've built an email list, and then you started to get on influencers' radar, and then you started guesting on a few podcasts, that is when you then start leveraging social media. Most people do social media first because it's free and it's easy, but it's completely ineffective when you do that. You want to build up a foundation that social media can sit on top of. Because when people see your social media post about your book, they're going to want to know, first of all, is anybody reading it? Is it any good? Did anybody like it? How much does it cost? Where do I go to get it? They're going to have all these questions. And if they have to message you to ask you any of those questions because it's not easy for them to find out themselves, they're probably not going to find out. They're probably not going to ask, right? You want other things to be in motion to make it easy for them to want to buy your book, to need to buy your book, right? So even before you get out there on Amazon, you want to get these things in place. Now, when you're ready to go on Amazon, if you're going on Amazon, do that and use Amazon as a point of contact. So then drive people through your Amazon page. But of course, you do that, then you got to go through Amazon. So if you're doing it yourself, you drive them to your website, your book only website. Either way, you're driving traffic. And when you drive traffic, you're trying to capture leads, right? The best thing about having them go to your website is you get all the lead capture. You don't have to have it go through Amazon's system, right? So leverage social media platforms. Finally, that's what you do. Get things out there on Facebook, get things out there on Instagram, whatever your market is, LinkedIn, Twitter, even like TikTok, YouTube, wherever you need to go to get your target market. You then have somebody market for you. Again, you can promote stuff yourself. And being an expert, someone who has the knowledge to write a book, you have a bit of credibility with that. But it is even more credible, even more exciting for people to see somebody else talking about you. So this is where you share your podcast with other people, where you share people's reviews of you, where you share what influencers said. You share that on social media. You don't share a lot of what you think about your book. You share what other people think about your book on social media. And that is how it goes. And then finally, the last thing you should do as you're starting to share social media is set up talks, clubs, books, meetups, Eventbrites, book clubs, Facebook groups, somewhere to start conversations about your book, about your topic, about books like yours in your industry, in your genre, whatever it may be. That's how you keep buzz going, right? So after the book launches and you do the social media thing, then you find and attract fans and you invite them to be parts of your clubs, of your ongoing meetings, of your meetups, have regular scheduled events, do things where people know where to find you. You want to be consistent in that. And the last tip I'll give you is you can offer a free ebook, right? I still offer a free e-version of my first book, Putting Your Data to Work, for the Filipino professional in the Philippines. I've sold over 800 copies and I've given away probably as many ebooks. And basically it's a way, once you get the book out there and you're not trying to monetize it as much, but you want to keep building your brand, you want to sell your next book or your upcoming book, you can give away ebooks. That's how I did it, right? That's how I've sold over 1,000 books. Not a lot. I'm not like this huge best-selling author. That was never my goal. My goal was to help me help people, to share my love of data and technology, let the nerd in me get out there and find other nerds to be able to use my stuff. So that's what we do at Sonic VA. We help people find people who can enjoy, use, benefit from what you write. If you want to get started with us, we are not necessarily a book promotion company. We are not a publisher. We are a virtual assistant business. We help you find VAs not to get the book written or to publish the book, but we do help you promote the book. And again, I'll give one other shout out to Marina Aris, a great person. You can see her information there. If you want to actually publish a book, you want to go through an expert to do independent publishing, talk to Marina. She'll get you going. Otherwise, text us right now. Text the word data to 26786 to be able to get a form from us. You quickly fill out, say, hey, I have this new book coming out. I need help promoting it. I want to do YouTube videos. I want to do book promotions. I want to get booked in speaking gigs. I want to get booked on podcasts. Can you help me? Yes, we will do that. We will help you be more consistent and have more clarity in your messaging so that people have a certainty that when they book you, when they read from you, when they buy from you, they're going to get exactly what they expected. So that's my time for today. I hope it helps you figure out how to get your book out there, how to market your book. You can go to our website, sonicva.com, or you can drop a comment below, or you can text us to data at 26786. Again, thanks for your time. Now go out there and write and publish an amazing book. We will market it for you.